Action.
Hey,
Hey.
it's the man. It's the man, the most busiest filmmaker slash busiest act in professional wrestling is here. How we doing? How we doing this
Yes,
afternoon,
sir.
this evening, whatever you guys are listening? Wherever you guys are listening at Chicago time, North Carolina time, or California time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is a great episode of the TB2 podcast. We are joined by somebody that's been everywhere. He showed up at Ring of Honor. He showed up at AEW Dark. I saw him live at a Texas Wrestling Cartel show. But we've got hailing from the land of North Carolina, but Hollywood is begging for his presence. And Michael B. Jordan has
Nothing on me. Nothing
nothing
on
on
me.
our
Nothing
guest.
on me. See, look, they snub Marty Supreme, aka Chalamet, Timothy Chalamet, but you never snub Movie Myk, all right?
Never, never. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the main attraction, talk of the action. Your filmmaker, Movie Myk, is joining us today. And it's
There
gonna
we
be
go.
good.
Round
It's
of
gonna be
applause
good.
right here. We on the time. We on a time run though, right? We on a time run. Run time.
So we'll jump right into it. Early in your life, you shifted gears a little bit, going from wanting to be the first black Batman to wrestling with George South and learning how to wrestle basics down there. What's something that you used from even then, after 10 years in the business, something you've used now in your career that George taught you early in those early days?
Enjoy the journey. Enjoy every scene. Live in the moment. Yeah, that's it. And I always remember like to have fun no matter what level you're at. Like, you're at level 1 or level 5. Still remember have fun. And everybody, his favorite catchphrase he always says, and it's on the back of his t-shirt. When I'm in the ring, the whole world can wait. That's how movie might feel.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Now, when learning the basics from him, we talked to a lot of different pros, and they talk about learning the basics from one person, but years down the road, learning the business from somebody completely different. Do you have somebody in your career that let you in on that side of pro wrestling?
the business wise of it was I say Dustin. Dustin was really like focused like on like business on how like people won't like screw you over and like things of that nature. Because when I did his camp originally before training with him, he has a class like on that. So yeah, so the business side like I really like learned that from like Dustin. That's why like the like beginning of my career you should see me like at like great shows, bad shows, I do anything. But like now at the level that I'm at, like, the level I'm trying to reach, I do selective shows now. So yeah.
Yeah. Now what drew me and Boss to your character? We watch a lot of wrestling, not just WWE, AEW. We watch a lot of indie wrestling, but what draws us to people is the aura, the character, the charisma, having a hone on who you are. And I know you kind of went from shooting some videos with your buddies to now becoming the filmmaker. Is Movie Myk just Mike turned up to 11? It seems like those are the best characters
Turned
in
up to
wrestling.
30,000. All right. That is it. It's not 11. Turned up to 30,000. That's it. I used to like you said, I used to just like record stuff with my friends in the neighborhood. And then, so that's really me. That's the best characters. It's like people that's not really putting on a act. It's them like really, really
Yes.
being themselves and just like super over the top. But people that know me, they always say I'm dramatic. So might might as well get ready for the dramatic effect. So
Might as well. How long did it take you to have confidence, full confidence in being Movie Mike, the character, or turned up to
probably
30K?
when the world was about to end, 2020, when COVID happened. Hey, when everything was like going great, going great. It's like, yeah, I got it. I got it. I know how to do this. Da, da, da. World shut down. I was like, all right, all right, yeah.
Typical. Typical. Now with getting they say you said some of your in another interview I had seen, you're the people that you looked up to were kind of took some things from, early on in the business, The Rock, D'Angelo De Niro, the
Yeah.
Pope. What's some things specifically that you feel like you've taken from them and learned?
Um, just the showmanship. Like the wrestling that I grew up with on was like always like like showman, like be like larger than life. Like so just how they did like the showmanship, like how the Rock did it, and then how like the Pope did it. Cause like in like early in my career, they they'll say like, once you say action, like all the other shenanigans stop. It's time to like, whoop ass. Even sometimes now I still fall in that category where like, oh, I'm being too over the top. Like training, I remember a couple of times training with Booker T, and he said that's what you got is TV, but like all that other stuff, he said that's indie wrestling. He said stop, stop. So, but I try so like hard just like to be different. So that's why I sometimes fall into that. But like looking back at just like the people that I looked up to, like soon that bell rang, they like 100% go, 100% go. And but when they like out of the ring and like they backstage or they cutting a promo, they're not 100% go. They making fun of their like opponent. So yeah, so it's
Right.
definitely like the showmanship and then just like how the wordplay is and then like the wordplay like of the Rock and then like the emotion the Pope can like, get out of you in a promo. You about to make me go watch the Pope like later on tonight. I'm probably gonna eat some hot buttery popcorn. And enjoy a Pope promo. But not even just them, I also like study like the Ultimate Warrior. I got a great Ultimate Warrior impersonation. It's
I was gonna bring
yeah,
it up. It's on the script. I
you
was
know
gonna
what I'm
bring it up
saying?
because you were on top of the Ultimate Warrior. I was going to ask if there's anybody else that you have, since we're going to go ahead and jump into it. Is there anybody else that you have a down impression of that? Because Ultimate Warrior, the snort, everything, it was 10 out of
Nah,
10.
it's just Warrior. It's just Warrior because people give Warrior so much like crap. I'm probably about to get crap for this because he's a bad person. Shut up. All right, yes, I get that, but like you can learn something from him. It's like the energy he has. Like soon that camera's on, he go, the powers of the lights and the camera. This is the action. All the war. And like you know what I'm saying? Like you see how automatic you like oh.
Yes.
Like, I have to like I'm drawn to the attention to this guy, so it's like the energy and like the intensity of it. Like a lot of people, like it's like you have to really, really, really listen. Sometimes you got to watch a couple times back to what he's saying. It's like, oh, he's actually on some deep level speaking. You just can't really tell because he's doing on streaming. So, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, that's another person that like I looked for. I don't look at like a lot of people with the common people, they always say, "Oh, Ric Flair." There's like 800 people that look like wants to talk like Ric Flair. So then, like, come on, like, come on, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Yeah. And Ultimate Warrior may have had his issues, but I think we all as a society need to learn to separate the performer from the person. I know sometimes it's hard. Uh, I may get grief for this, the Chris Benoit thing.
yeah,
Everybody talks about him and the tragic things that he did, and I know it's tragic. I'm not saying anything, but him as a performer, I felt like was one of the best in the business at the
yeah.
time. And then that happens, and now all of a sudden you can't mention his
Yeah, it's like
name.
you should like my thing on just all of that is this is I'm a very controversial guy, so this may leak into the dirt sheet and I'll probably never get booked. But no, like you can like he's still a great and you can like study like something from him. You don't have to do the act that he did, but I'm saying you can
Right.
study from him like, oh man, look how intensity is like his intensity is, or look how like he's on this opponent. Da, da, da. I'm not saying worship him. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is like, yo, you can study, you can take
Right.
something like from him and put it into your like repertoire. Yeah.
For sure. For sure. Now, one thing I kind of get is a similarity between you and Mr. Dwayne Johnson. You've got an electrifying move that every time I see it
I put it
pops
in
me.
slow motion
Um,
too, so everybody can see it.
that slow motion elbow, yes. Yeah, where did that come from?
Just me being so entertaining and just like so tapped into the character. That's it, you know. For the longest though, a lot of people hated that move. It was like it's not realistic. And I was like, bro, just y'all not watch the wrong. I'm like,
Right.
what? And then but I was like, all right, well, I have to like do a move before I actually hit this move so people can just lay down for this. Like, I'm like, I have
Yeah.
to actually do a impactful move so you can actually lay down at least for like 10 seconds and then I can hit it. And the crazy thing about it is like, I think people lose the aspect of realism and entertainment because like if somebody real deal slam you on the street, you're going to like real deal hard. You're going to at least lay there for 5 seconds, like, and then you're
Yep.
gonna try to move. So you might as well just lay there for that slow mo, just for an extra 5. Just like that's it. Like I don't like people be like, oh, I don't think that's realistic. Okay, well, so when you shoot me off, I'm not coming back. How about that? How about
Yep.
that? Then
Yep.
I and then I'm difficult to work with because now we now you know what I'm saying. But it's like, come on, like I get where you're coming from, but it's also like, bro, like it's 500 people out here that came to see a show. Like, so let's give them a show.
Yes. Yes. Entertaining. I love it. I love it. Another move I seen you do, and it was a clip that I seen posted on your Twitter, your X. But and I don't know if you call it flip the script. That's what you have it tagged
Yeah,
as. But it's like a bookend that turns into like
a DDT.
a vertical faith buster
Yeah, 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 yeah.
DDT. It's
I
smooth,
appreciate that. I
silky smooth.
appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And what's funny is shout out fast as hell Ian Maxwell. And we was in training one day, and I was like, yeah, man, I need a little combo. I said because I gotta get just a little indie, I guess, right? And he was all right. What you think? I said, yo.
Yeah.
So I said I'm thinking like flipping the person over. I said then they land on their knee, and then I DDT them. I said, or they take the face bump and I grab DDT. And then he was like, "Oh, that's whack." I was like, "What?" He said, "I thought you was talking about like you got them, you flipping them, and then catching them." I said, "Oh, that's hard." I'm like, "You think I could do that?" And then he was like, "If you don't do it, I'm gonna do it." I said, "All right." So we practiced it for like 3 minutes, and then I got it. I said, "Oh yeah, this move." I said, "This move." And then like the next week we wrestled.
Smooth.
Next week we wrestled, and I hit it in a live audience, and they went crazy. I said, "Yeah, there we go, 5 star." I whispered in his ear. I
Of
said,
course.
"Thank you." I whispered right in his ear, "Thank you." Like in
Yeah.
mid of doing
Yeah.
the move, I said, "Thank you." Bam.
Another spot that happened in that move, the clip that I seen, you were going against the
Yeah.
Jet.
The one you look up to.
Another
The one.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The the one thing that I also seen in the Jet spot that you had, or a match that you had with the Jet, early on he goes for a pin and you kind of tumble backwards
Oh man, yeah.
out of the ring. Was that supposed to stay on the blooper reel?
Nah,
Was that
nah, nah, man. Cause Ian, that son of a bitch, Ian hit me in like 5 to 6 seconds. And so I had a flashback and I said this cannot happen again. So I had to get out of Dodge. All right. I had to get out of sometimes in the scene you gotta improv to make make the script better. So so was that
right?
supposed to happen? No, but did it make the scene 10 times better? Yes. Yes.
um we're gonna go ahead and I gotta talking about your character and talking about your promos and I know you've got 30K as a slogan, but I gotta ask, and I'm gonna try to keep it PG because YouTube don't like R ratings, but I don't know how else to word it. Where did the moan
No,
come
it's the
from
on.
in the
It's the on.
promos?
It's the on. And one day I just got bored in practice. One day I got bored in practice. I got bored in practice and because one of the coaches was in the bathroom. So I just started playing in the corner and I just said on. And then I said, yo. And when I said it, it was so annoying. And I was like, I think I got something. Cause if it's getting on their nerves in the corner, it's gonna get on everybody. But now
Yep.
some people say that's my favorite part when you do the on. So I was like, yeah, so here we go. a lot of my stuff comes from trolling, annoyance, or like just being bored, like basically in my trailer and just sitting there just thinking like it'd be stupid if I do this. And then when I do it, it was like, oh no, this actually works. So let me just keep doing it. It's like you
Yeah.
got a nail and you got the nail in the wall and you just hammer it until it goes in. And when it goes in, it's like boom, it's there. So when it's there, you don't want to do nothing. You don't want to move it. You want to keep it right there, and then so you can hang it up. That's how I feel with me. I just nail stuff, and then once it's there, it's like okay, we add around.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's definitely specific to you. It also kind of pops me every time you do it. It went from something I was kind of confused about, and then now it's just part of your
Yeah.
character to me. So I enjoy it.
Some people get upset when I don't
Um,
I don't do that line. They be like, oh, I was waiting for you to own. And I'm like, yo, I said so much good lines in this shit, and all you will care about is this catchphrase. Yep,
yep.
that's all. That's
Yep.
all. That's. I'm at the.
That's the
The
people.
next time, maybe next time I do a promo, I'm probably gonna have it do just 40 seconds. I'm gonna say all my catchphrases, and I better get 200 likes. And everybody's like, "Yo, this is so great." And if they say that, I'm gonna be like, "I didn't say shit." That was all I'm gonna say. I did not say shit.
Nothing. I ask this question to a lot of people because I kind of like the answer to it. You've held a bunch of singles titles, world titles, but you've also, uh, your big, I guess, stages were tag team matches. When you were on Dark, you were in a tag team match against Tito or against Ortiz and
Hmm.
Santana. Um, so do you yourself picture yourself as more of a singles wrestler or a tag team wrestler? Which one do you
Oh
enjoy
man,
working
I'm a
more?
solo act at heart because I can do what I want to do. I'm a solo act at heart.
Yeah.
When you gotta control all these acts, and these guys think they're stars, and they really co-stars or extras. It's too much stress because most of my losses come from tag matches. If you notice that, most of my losses come from tag matches. You know
Yeah.
why? Because it's never me. There's always the guy that I'm on the same team, the same scene with, and we got to share the spotlight. Once I got to share the spotlight, look, see right here, this is me right here. I'm in the straight spotlight only on me. Oh, 5 stars. When it's not on me and it's somebody else, right? I don't have nothing else. But with somebody else right here, it goes left, just like that. It goes left, goes left, goes left. Now I'm a solo act.
Well, somebody that you've had some matches with here lately, and I enjoyed the matches with, but I guess you guys may have squashed the beef, and it's somebody I'd like to get on the pod one day too. But
Yeah.
Cordell, do you guys what chemistry, what helps you guys have such good matches together or teaming together? What's
Um,
there?
I feel like me and Corda come from the same like cloth. We both grew up on the same like sports entertainment level of like what got us into wrestling. I think that's why we have great chemistry together. Being honest.
Yeah.
A lot of guys that like grew up on the wrestling that I like, I always have great like chemistry with, or guys that like grew up on like Van Damme, Jeff Hardy. Like I always have like get great chemistry with. I'm like, oh, yo, you can do all the special effects, and like you got the, you can do it. You can do everything. I just gotta be there. I just gotta be there. So
Yeah.
like, yeah. So that's why like we connect. We connect well on that.
Um, Now talking about having good matches with Cordell, for somebody that hasn't been introduced to Movie Mike, what you can do in the ring, what you can do on the mic, what comes to mind is your go-to match? Hey, this is what you need to watch in order to see what Movie Mike is all
All right,
about.
I get it's 2 matches. Uh, Movie Myk versus Cordell at Rhodes Wrestling Association. You can also watch Rhodes Wrestling Association on Twitch, May 17th. You know what I'm saying? I'm plugging Dustin. Dustin,
Good plug.
you need
Good
to
plug.
pay me extra. All right. That's the next event coming up. But you can also watch on YouTube Movie Myk versus Cordell on the Rhodes Wrestling Association YouTube page. That's a match house show. Take two. We had to switch the location. Now, all right, the second scene that I tell all the viewers to watching me is Movie Myk and Ashton Starr. All right, it was in December 2023. Southern Honor, I think 2023 or 2022. It's one of those dates. But I whooped Ashton Starr's ass. All right, I flipped the script on his ass. All right, all right, that's the one to watch. Don't watch the first act. You watch the second. That's the most important
That's
one.
a good one.
That's where all the the drama happens right there. All right, you got to sit through the bullshit for 30 minutes, and then after 30 minutes,
Check it out. Y'all check it out for sure. For sure. Now, before we close out, I got two questions we ask every guest, but before I get into the last, we call it the TB2. Before I get into the last two, I gotta get a little serious for a moment. I like to think of myself, TB2, as friends of Movie Myk, and as friends, when somebody has a problem,
okay,
you have to bring it to their attention. And so I've gotta
yeah.
this addiction that you have. I may have a supplier, I may have a key in, but this addiction that you have with ketchup, it really needs to be talked about.
I thought you was gonna say Don Julio for a second. I mean, it's sugar-free ketchup. I put ketchup on like my rice. I put ketchup on my egg. I put ketchup on like 85% of the stuff I eat.
I've heard Chipotle.
That's what I do. Yo, how you hear about Chipotle?
Hey,
Somebody who gave you the scoop on that?
I got sources. I got
Boy, hey, you better than TMZ. You better than TMZ. I ain't gonna mess around with you. I'm gonna mess around with you. The runtime is almost coming to the end of this interview.
Had to throw it out there. So get into the TB2. Two questions. Oh, I was gonna say the end that I may have the answer to the Heinz problem. If you can just get yourself drafted number 57 in the NFL draft, number 57 gets a sponsorship with Heinz. I get this nice jacket and a lifetime supply of ketchup. So if we can
Yeah,
do that for you, you got it made.
yeah, I got it, man. It gotta be sugar-free. It gotta be sugar-free
I'm
ketchup.
sure we can work that
With
out.
no sugar added. We can work it out. We can work it out in my contract.
So the TB2 last two questions I ask every guest that I have on here. First one's a little bit negative, second a little bit more positive. First one, 10 years of wrestling. What's the biggest pet peeve that you've had through your time in wrestling?
Dealing with extras. That's the shortest one. Just dealing with extras. That's it. It's just like, what? That's always just like, you show up to the arena, aka you show up to the set. It's always got somebody just not trying to understand the script. They don't know their role.
Yep.
It sounds so cliche, but I swear to the Hollywood gods, to the Hollywood angels and the Hollywood demons, they do not know their role. They try to do too much. But that's my number one biggest pet peeve. When I find somebody that do know their role and they understand the script, I damn near love them.
Yeah.
I damn near love
Yeah.
them.
And the last question we have, um, stars that are coming into the business, you get passed down, knowledge and advice is only as good as the next person that you give it to. What's the biggest piece of advice that you could give the next generation, people getting into the business, that you think they need to hear?
Be original.
Yeah.
Be original. You can still like watch your favorites and take and stuff, but like just be original and like make one big ball of like you like your favorite musician is like sorry, favorite band is like Green Day. Okay, study a little bit of Green Day. If your favorite wrestler is like Chris Jericho or something like that, take a little bit from Jericho. Then look at like pop culture, like look at like some figures in like pop culture, like Kanye West, uh, even like some basketball players like John Moran. He's pop
Yep.
culture. Like take something from that and like just mix it like all in, and then put it just like a dash of you in there.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a lame, don't put a dash of you in there. But if you're a regular guy, you're like a cool guy, then put a dash of you in there, and then boom, be original. That's one thing that wrestling is lacking is originality. Everybody wants to be the next person, and it's like, how you ever gonna be a star if you're trying to be somebody that was a star 5 years ago, 20 years ago, or that's a star now?
Yep.
That's all I got. That's all they get for free. That's all they get for free. I'm gonna start doing webinars and seminars and stuff like that. So I'm gonna charge them $100 for every minute. That's all I'm gonna do it every minute.
That's good money. That's good money. And you getting
Let
this
me
for
go.
free
I
here at
gotta I
TB2.
gotta I gotta pay the lights.
Of course. Of
Yeah, I
course.
gotta I gotta pay the I gotta pay the lights back at the studio. All right, I'm down right now. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get off the low budget. I gotta get back to big budget production.
Of course. Of course. And that being said, this has been wonderful, Mike. Thank you for giving us the time. Maybe we can do this again sometime. Get my co-host on here.
Yeah,
But we appreciate you giving us.
we give y'all the sequel.
Yes. Sequel's always better, right?
Give y'all. Hell no, nah. That's for another episode. That's for another episode. There's some sequels that it's like, well, why we even do this? Sometimes it ain't gonna get better than the first one. Like let's say that's what Hollywood gotta understand. Sometimes it just ain't gonna get better than the first one.
Well, this is the first one of many blockbusters to come. Ladies and gentlemen, the award goes to Movie Myk. Thanks, brother.
Movie Myk, yeah.
Nerds with the loudest takes. If the Mac bitch shaking over title gets lost, you'll hear it first from the borough and the bar.